Hello, everybody. I'm going to attempt to record our presentation that we'll be giving to you after school today about our exciting residential to York. So I'm going to give you lots of information. Most of this information will be on the letter that you'll receive. If you've got any questions afterwards, please feel free to either email the office, give me a call, or send me a message on Dojo. Okay, so our York residential is in a couple of weeks. It's on Monday the 18th till Wednesday the 20th of November, so just a few more weeks to go. I'm going to share with you our itinerary to start with. Okay, so the coach will be leaving school at 8:30. It's really important that we get swift departure. So if your child could arrive to school from 8 o'clock, between 8 and quarter past, that will be great, and that will give us time to load their luggage and get everybody on the coach, seatbelts on, that kind of things. Your child will need to bring a packed lunch from home on that day, or order one from school. We'll be having our lunch when we arrive in York. It'll take about 3 hours to get to York. We're not entirely sure whether the coach that we're being provided with will have a toilet on or not. If it doesn't, then the coach driver will be more than happy to have a toilet stop at a service station along the way. If it does, then great, children will be able to use the facilities on board. When we arrive in York, then we will eat our packed lunch as soon as we get there. I'm sure we'll have lots of hungry children. And we're eating our packed lunch at a meeting house, which is just across the road from the York Dungeon, which is our very first attraction that we'll be visiting when we arrive in York. When we get to the dungeons, we'll be going in a few groups, in 3 groups, because we won't all fit in one go. So whilst some children will be in the dungeons, other children will be exploring the local area, having a look at Clifford's Tower, perhaps having a walk up the Shambles, whilst everybody gets in and has that dungeon experience. After the dungeons, then we will walk across town. It's about a 5-minute walk to the York Castle Museum, which is a lovely museum that's got lots and lots of things to look at, things to do. There's a prison in there, there's a 60s area, there's a Victorian street, really interactive, really engaging for the children to enjoy. After we've spent some time in the York Castle Museum, it will be time for our tea, our dinner, and that's taking place at Pizza Hut, which is, as you can see on the map there, it's just about a 7-minute walk from the Castle Museum to Pizza Hut, and we'll walk there all together as a group, and we'll enjoy a lovely buffet tea at Pizza Hut. After our tea, then, we will be taking part in a ghost walking tour of York. We've got a designated meeting point, which isn't far from Pizza Hut, and it's a private tour. So it'll be just Heron Cross, just our children on the tour. It isn't a public tour. It's age appropriate, geared towards children, and it's a walking tour around the city walls, telling us stories from the past. So it might be a little bit spooky, but it is very much an age-appropriate, light-hearted tour. After the ghost walk, then we'll be joining the coach, which will take us to our accommodation, which is about, I'm pretty sure it's about 3 miles, if that, it's not far at all, Stableside, our accommodation, which is just on York Racecourse. So we'll join the coach and we'll settle in when we arrive. It's a lovely accommodation. I visited a few weeks ago with Mrs. Hardy. We are the only occupants in the house, in the hostel whilst we're there. It's very secure. There's fobs needed to get in and out. With the only school group in, well, there's no members of the public at all that are in there. We've got 2 floors. There'll be staff situated. Their rooms will be staggered across all of our area where our children will be sleeping. so we'll be on hand if anybody needs us. All rooms are en suite. They're really lovely rooms actually, and there'll be 2 or 3, and I think a couple of the rooms there are 4 children to a room, so it should be a really lovely, comfortable night for us all. Okay, day 2 then is a busy one. So we'll wake up at Stableside, we'll have our breakfast. It's a lovely buffet breakfast. So there's a hot choice, cold choice, cereal, toast, yogurt, fruit, a variety of drinks. And Stableside will be providing our packed lunches for that day. Your child has decided which sandwich filling they would like in their packed lunch, and obviously if your child's got any dietary requirements, that will be catered for by Stableside. We'll then, with our packed lunches, jump back on the coach to go to the National Railway Museum, which is just on the outskirts of the city centre. It will take about 10 minutes to get there. We'll get there around 10 o'clock. We'll enjoy the museum, the Railway Museum. There's lots to see there. There's lots to do. There's lots to look at. There's lots of trains to get in and have a good look around at. And we'll eat our packed lunch at the National Railway Museum too. When we've completed that tour of the Railway Museum, we'll then get back on the coach to go to the Jorvik Centre and dig. So the coach will drop us off and we'll walk in groups to either the Viking Centre or the dig, and then we'll swap over. Again, both are really educational, really informative, lots of fun. We can be budding archaeologists at the dig. We can look at lots and lots of artifacts, and the Jorvik Centre is a really immersive Viking experience, and I know the children will get lots and lots out of that. So after we've spent quite a bit of time at those 2 places, we're hoping to go souvenir shopping afterwards and have a look along the shambles and to spend some of their pocket money that children might have brought along with them before we rejoin the coach back to Stableside to have our dinner, which is chicken burger and chocolate cake. The children have had a selection of meals to choose from, and they've selected chicken burger. Of course, if we've got any vegetarians, there will be an alternative. And after that, there'll be the movie night with snacks. There'll be various popcorn, and there'll be drinks provided. And if you want to pack a small snack in for your child to share, then that would be great for this fun night of Netflix. Okay, day 3 then, we'll get up, we'll have our breakfast again, that buffet style breakfast. We'll load our luggage up and collect our packed lunches again, provided by Stableside, before heading to York Chocolate Story, which is at 10 o'clock. We'll enjoy a lovely scrumptious tour around the chocolate story before we leave York at 12 o'clock. We'll be either having our lunch just as we leave or somewhere along the way back. So obviously how long it takes to eat our lunch will dictate the return time. We're due to return at approximately 3 o'clock, but I would say it would be more like between 3:30 and 4, dependent on traffic, but I will keep you updated via Class Dojo. Staffing then who will be accompanying your children on the trip is Mrs. Hardy, Mrs. Rowley, Miss Copeland, myself, Mrs. Atterbury and Mrs. Bowden. All experienced teachers or experienced senior leaders and people who know your children really well. So please feel free to get in touch with any of us if you want to speak to us about anything that's concerning you. I will say that whilst we are in York, we will try and keep you updated as much as possible through photos and posts on Class Dojo. But our priority is being with your children and looking after them. So if we don't respond to a message, then straight away, please don't worry, we're just really busy, either having lots of fun and making sure that everybody's well looked after. But we will update you as much as possible. Okay, so what will my child need to bring? This is a list of items that that we've suggested that you pack for your child. It is on the letter that will be coming home. Have a look through there. One thing that is important is a backpack or something that children can put on their back to carry their packed lunch in, instead of just holding onto it to a paper bag. It's really useful to have a backpack that they can put the lunch in and the drink in to carry around York with them. I've popped on there up to £20 spending money. Please don't feel like you've got to send them with £20. You know, it's absolutely fine. Children will be responsible for their own money though, so can we make sure that purses have got names on and things, because I wouldn't want anybody to lose any money, and it is obviously at your discretion what you send. Please note there's no mobile phones, no electronics, which is quite nice. But due to safeguarding and lots of reasons, we ask that there will be no phones. The children will also need to bring a reusable water bottle. That's something else that's really important. There are water fountains, water stations dotted around Stableside for your children to top up their water bottle, and that's what they'll be taking out with them on our days out. It can get a bit chilly up north, so make sure it might be worth checking the weather forecast for the 18th, 19th and 20th, just to sort of indicate how many layers to pack for your child. And also you can bring some snacks. So we ask that we don't need lots and lots of snacks, just perhaps a packet of biscuits to share, you know, a large bag of crisps, just so that children can have a bit of a snack time either in the evening or during the movie night. Any medication, I'll come on to medication just before we finish. That's obviously an important thing that we'll need to know about. I'm just reading back through the list. Toiletries, the usual: toothbrush, toothpaste, hair bobbles for the girls, a hairbrush. Don't forget those teddies for bedtime, alongside children's pyjamas. So please don't overpack as well. There is only a limited amount of space to store children's belongings. We are only going for 2 nights, so just think about what your child will need just for the 2 nights. So medication, then, on the form that's coming home with you will be an information sheet for any medication with the dosage and the time needs writing on the sheet as well. This includes travel sickness medication, even things like inhalers. Even though we'll know if your child needs an inhaler, if you know, the class teacher will know, we still need that form filling in. It depends whose group, who their key adult is on the days, so they'll need that information. And on that sheet there is also space to write any additional information. So it might not be medication, it might be something that you want us to know about your child that you perhaps haven't had a chance to speak to us about, or just want to make a note about. Things like, I don't know, they might not like going to sleep without a light on, for example, or they might need to not have a light on. Those kinds of things that we would prefer to know in advance, just so we can make sure that we look after your children in the very best possible way that we can. I hope that's provided you with all of the information that you need. If you have got further questions, then please either send me a message on Dojo or give me a call, or arrange to pop in to see me. And hopefully this recording has worked well, and it will be the future way of sharing information for parents who are unable to attend meetings after school. Thank you, everybody. Bye.